Hello, my name's Will from Gold Coast Libraries, and thanks for joining us for one of our online Summers Made for Reading author talks. The weather's heating up outside, and summer is a great time to relax and unwind with a great read. Here at Gold Coast Libraries, we have you covered with heaps of great reading material. Whatever your genre, there's sure to be something for everyone. Now, we know there's so much going on over the summer, so we're taking our author chats online. And today we're joined by a very special guest, author Nota Prose, who will be talking about her latest book, The Mystery Guest. For those who may be unfamiliar with Nita, the Canadian author of The Maid, which has sold over 1 million copies worldwide and was published in more than 40 countries. It was a #1 New York Times bestseller and Good Morning America book club pick. The Maid won numerous awards, including the Ned Kelly Award for International Crime Fiction, the Fingerprint Award for Debut Novel of the Year, the Anthony Award for Best First Novel, and the Barry Award for Best First Mystery. That is a lot of awards. Her new novel is titled The Mystery Guest and is out now. Thank you so much for joining us today, Nota Prose.
Hello, I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, we're just going to get straight into it, Nita, if that's okay with you. Can you
Let's
tell
do it.
us? All right, perfect. Can you tell us what your new book's all about? Easy one to start with.
Well, sure, I sure can. So it is a standalone novel, but readers who have read The Maid will recognize a few of the characters, most notably the protagonist, Molly, and her beloved Gran. But in this case, we get engaged with a whole new mystery, which takes place at the Regency Grand Hotel, a posh 5-star hotel, which is where the first book was also set. And in this case, a grand tea room has opened up in the hotel, and a reclusive and somewhat odd mystery writer, who is world-renowned, of course, is going to be having a presentation in that tea room. But alas, he shows up. He's about to make a very important announcement, and he drops dead, very dead, on the tea room floor. So that's the mystery in the present tense. But really, this book is all about something that happens in the past. And to solve that, Molly has to go back in time to when she was 10 years old and relive some memories of a time when she worked alongside her grandmother for one summer, when her grandmother was a maid in the Grimthorpe's mansion. So, and the Mr. Grimthorpe is, in fact, the man who has died in the present tense. And only through reliving the past are we able to solve the mystery in the present tense.
Excellent. Sounds intriguing. Sounds like a wonderful summer read. So what inspired you to write the book?
You know, when I was touring for The Maid, at some point I was in England, and I visited a museum outside of Brighton, and it was in a castle. And there was this incredible display I just happened to come across. And inside this display case were two very, very strange things. One was the mummified body of a rat. And the second was a single silver spoon. And, you know, as it turns out, this was actually a commemorative display for a maid who had once worked in the castle. So as it turns out, she used to work there, and she was accused of stealing a piece of silverware. And she claimed she never did it, but it didn't matter. She was frog marched out the door and never to work there ever again. And then years later, when they were renovating the castle, lo and behold, the builders opened up the walls. And what did they find? They found a rat's nest. And inside that nest was the mummified body of a rat and a single silver spoon. And when I read this, my imagination just came to life. You know, I think it is so interesting that this little tale is like a cautionary tale and a parable all rolled into one. You know, be careful what you assume. Nothing is ever as it seems. And, you know, the past, well, there's one thing we know about the past for sure, and that is that it will never stay buried forever. And so upon hearing this little parable, it became the backdrop story and informed The Mystery Guest.
Wow, that's interesting. That's a really interesting story. So moving into our reader's advisory question now, what's on your reading list for this summer?
Well, I've been reading all kinds of things. One is a book by Benjamin Stevenson, and it is called Everyone on This Train is a Suspect. and I absolutely adored it. It's not out yet, but I do believe it's coming out for you folks next year. And what he does is a really Agatha Christie take on a kookball set of characters, and I absolutely love his writing style. And another thing that I have read recently is The Whispers. Ooh, that's not coming through very well, is it? The Whispers by Ashley O'Drain, who's a Canadian author. And it is a brilliant novel about a set of friends in a bourgeois neighborhood who have a party in their backyard. And one of the children upstairs starts to scream. A mother goes upstairs and she yells at her child, and the whole party hears. And the fabric of their friendship starts to unravel, and things get really, really bad. And the portrait of female friendships is so delicate and smartly woven, and I highly recommend it. It's The Whispers by Ashley O'Drain.
Oh, brilliant. A couple of solid recommendations. And Benjamin Stevenson is actually a local boy just up the road.
I know he is, which is why I'm so happy to recommend him.
Excellent, excellent. And last but not least, do you have a favorite summer reading spot?
Oh, I do. So in my backyard, I have a pergola, and I love to sit out there on a deck chair and just while hours away. And, you know, I must say, it's not only about the spot, it's also about the Aperol Spritz on the side or whatever fine beverage. But to me, that is like the most sinful, delicious pleasure, to spend a few hours in the summer outside, reading a book and escaping from the world.
Wonderful. That sounds perfect. That sounds wonderful. Nota Prose, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes with us answering our summer reading questions. Your new novel, The Mystery Guest, will be out for the summer here. Releases November 29th. So best of luck with it. I'm sure it's going to be another cracking yarn and another successful story. And thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much. Happy summer reading.